2 tell-all books, 2 ex-wives, and 1 man who has absolutely no idea what is about to hit him. Mykelti Padron just dropped the most explosive confirmation the Sister Wives fandom has heard in years. And folks, this is not speculation, this is not wishful thinking, and this is certainly not some internet rumor cooked up by fans desperate for drama. This comes directly from inside the Brown family, spoken on record during Mykelti's appearance on the Growing Up in Polygamy podcast. Both Meri and Janelle are planning to write tell-all books about their decades with Kody Brown, and the timing could not be more devastating for the man who built his entire brand on family unity. Let that sink in for a moment. We are not talking about one scorned ex-wife putting pen to paper. We are talking about 2 women who collectively spent over 60 years married to this man, who raised his children, who sacrificed their own dreams and desires for the so-called principle of plural marriage, and who watched it all disintegrate while Robyn sat comfortably in her $1 million home. These are women with receipts. These are women with decades of stories that cameras never captured, and they are finally ready to talk. The Sister Wives empire has survived a lot over the past 15 years. It survived the family's chaotic move from Utah to Las Vegas. It survived the even more chaotic move to Flagstaff. It survived Christine walking away. It survived Janelle following her out the door. It survived Meri's catfishing scandal and her subsequent years of emotional exile within her own marriage. But surviving 2 simultaneous tell-all books from women who know where every single skeleton is buried, that might be the one thing this dysfunctional dynasty cannot withstand. Sources close to the situation are already buzzing about what these books might contain. We are talking about private conversations. We are talking about financial decisions that never made it to air. We are talking about the real story behind Robyn's rise to favorite wife status and exactly how that favoritism destroyed 3 other marriages. One insider put it bluntly when discussing the potential fallout, saying this could rewrite everything fans thought they knew about the Brown family. Kody and Robyn have spent years carefully curating their narrative, explaining away the family's collapse as everyone else's fault, positioning themselves as victims of ungrateful children and bitter ex-wives. They have controlled the story through TLC's cameras, through carefully worded social media posts, through telling one version of events over and over until it became accepted truth. But tell-all books operate outside that control. Tell-all books do not have producers editing footage. Tell-all books do not have contractual obligations to protect anyone's image. Tell-all books are raw, unfiltered, and absolutely devastating when written by people with nothing left to lose. But before we get into what these books might reveal and why legal teams are probably already being assembled, you need to understand exactly how this bombshell dropped and why the family is absolutely terrified right now. Mykelti Padron has never been shy about sharing family business, but what she revealed during her Growing Up in Polygamy interview crossed into territory that has the entire Sister Wives fandom reeling. The confirmation came almost casually, dropped into conversation like she was discussing weekend plans rather than detonating a bomb that will reshape the Brown family narrative forever. When discussing upcoming projects and family developments, Mykelti stated plainly that there are going to be some people writing books, and the context made it crystal clear she was referring to Meri and Janelle. The insider speculation following this revelation has been absolutely wild. Those who follow the family closely have noted that Meri has been teasing the possibility of writing a memoir for years now. She has dropped hints on social media, she has made cryptic comments about having stories to tell, she has suggested that fans do not know the half of what really happened behind closed doors. But for all her teasing, Meri has never actually pulled the trigger on a book deal. The reasons for her hesitation have been the subject of endless fan theories, ranging from legal complications to simple fear of the fallout. But here is where it gets interesting. Sources suggest that while Meri has been talking about writing a book for years, Janelle might actually beat her to publication. Janelle has been notably quieter about her post-marriage plans, keeping her cards close to her chest while Christine dominated headlines and interview circuits. That silence, according to those familiar with the situation, was strategic. Janelle was not staying quiet because she had nothing to say. She was staying quiet because she was waiting for the right moment to say everything. Christine, of course, already broke this ground. Her book set the precedent that Brown family ex-wives can and will tell their stories outside of TLC's carefully controlled environment. Christine proved there is a massive appetite for the real story behind the Sister Wives cameras. Her book sold well, her interviews drew millions of views. She demonstrated that fans want the truth, and they are willing to pay for it. Now, Meri and Janelle are preparing to follow that blueprint, and they each have stories that Christine simply was not privy to. The legal implications hanging over these potential publications are massive and cannot be overstated. TLC contracts are notoriously restrictive. The Browns signed their original family book deal together back when they were still presenting a united front to the world, which means there could be shared intellectual property complications that lawyers will need to untangle. There are likely clauses about revealing show secrets, about disparaging fellow cast members, about what can and cannot be discussed publicly while contracts remain active. One source close to the production side of things noted that the network takes these matters extremely seriously and has gone to court before to protect their programming interests. Whether Meri and Janelle have already consulted attorneys, whether they have found loopholes in their agreements, or whether they are simply prepared to face whatever legal consequences come their way remains unclear. What is clear is that neither woman seems deterred by the potential complications. And what Mykelti revealed about which siblings have completely cut Kody off explains exactly why these books are happening now and why the timing could not be more explosive. The interview bombshells did not stop with the book confirmation. Mykelti went on to drop revelation after revelation, each one adding another layer to this unfolding family catastrophe. She confirmed that season 21 of Sister Wives is, in her words, guaranteed, and that Janelle will absolutely be part of the new season's filming. This is significant because it confirms Janelle has not completely severed ties with the TLC production, even as she prepares to potentially burn the whole thing down with a tell-all book. When pressed about rumors that Christine and Janelle might be getting their own spin-off series, Mykelti shot those theories down with a brutal dose of reality. They are not sister wives anymore, she stated matter-of-factly. The bluntness of that comment landed like a punch to the gut of fans who have been hoping for some version of the original show dynamic to survive. There will be no happy spin-off featuring the two women who escaped. There will be no feel-good series about rebuilding life after polygamy. That chapter is closed, and Mykelti wanted everyone to understand that clearly. But it was the way the book revelation emerged that has insiders paying close attention. Mykelti did not respond to a direct question about tell-all publications. She brought it up unprompted, almost as if it was such a well-known fact within the family that she forgot it was not public knowledge. This suggests the book plans are not some distant possibility being vaguely discussed. These are active conversations happening within the Brown family circle right now. Mykelti spoke with a confidence that came from clearly having inside information. She referenced speaking in confidentiality about certain family matters, which only reinforced that she knows far more than she is publicly sharing. The woman has a front row seat to this family implosion. She is married to Christine's son, Tony. She maintains relationships across the family divide. She hears things from multiple sides, and what she chose to reveal during this interview was clearly calculated. Sources analyzing the interview noted that Mykelti seemed almost eager to get certain information out there, as if she wanted the world to know what was coming without explicitly breaking family confidences. It was a masterclass in controlled revelation, dropping enough breadcrumbs to confirm the big news while leaving enough unsaid to maintain plausible deniability with family members who might be upset about the disclosure. The reaction from fans was immediate and intense. Comment sections across social media platforms exploded with speculation about what these books might contain and which secrets would finally be exposed. Many pointed out that Mykelti's willingness to confirm these plans suggests the books are far enough along in development that the family has accepted they are happening, whether everyone approves or not. But it was what she said about Kody's relationship with his children that sent absolute shockwaves through the fandom and revealed just how broken this family has become. The estrangement situation within the Brown family has been the subject of speculation for years, but Mykelti's interview provided the most direct confirmation yet of just how dire things have become between Kody and his children. She did not mince words when revealing that multiple siblings have Kody completely blocked on every platform and have explicitly told him, "Do not ever contact me again." Multiple children, not one. Multiple members of his own offspring have cut their father out of their lives entirely. Let that sink in for a moment. This is a man who appeared on national television for over a decade talking about the joys of having a large family, about how plural marriage provided his children with countless siblings and a support system that traditional families could not match. This is a man who preached about family values while cameras rolled, and now a significant number of those same children will not even take his phone calls. Mykelti admitted during the interview that she knows exactly which siblings have gone no contact with Kody. She has the full picture, she knows the names, the reasons, and the circumstances that led to these devastating breaks. But she refused to publicly identify anyone, stating that it was not her place to out her siblings' decisions to the world. The discretion is admirable, but it also left fans scrambling to piece piece together who among the 18 Brown children has severed ties with their father completely. Strong speculation based on observable evidence points to Leon and Maddie as two of the most likely candidates for complete estrangement. Leon has been notably absent from family gatherings and social media interactions involving Kody for years now. Maddie, Janelle's daughter, was once extremely close to Robyn and seemed positioned to be a bridge between the family factions. But that relationship appears to have deteriorated dramatically in recent years. Neither has made public appearances with Kody or posted supportive content about him in longer than anyone can remember. Perhaps the most revealing detail Mykelti shared was about how Kody processes this widespread rejection from his children. According to her account, Kody lumps all his kids together when complaining about being rejected rather than singling anyone out specifically. He apparently speaks about his estranged children as a collective problem rather than acknowledging individual relationships and individual grievances. One source close to the family said this approach allows him to avoid accountability because he never has to address what he did wrong with each specific child. The psychology behind this is fascinating and infuriating in equal measure. By refusing to separate his children into individuals with unique experiences and valid complaints, Kody can maintain the narrative that he is the victim of a coordinated campaign against him rather than a father who failed his children in individual specific ways. He can tell himself and anyone who will listen that the kids have been turned against him rather than acknowledging that each estranged child has their own legitimate reasons for walking away. This pattern of family estrangement is exactly what sources say will fill the pages of these upcoming tell-all books, and what Meri and Janelle witnessed firsthand over the decades will finally be documented for the world to read. Meri Brown has been dancing around the idea of writing a tell-all book for so long that many fans had given up hope it would ever actually happen. She has dropped hints on social media, she has made comments during interviews about having stories to tell, she has responded to fan questions with cryptic suggestions that the full truth has never been revealed. Yet year after year, no book announcement has materialized, and the reasons for her hesitation reveal just how complicated her situation truly is. Insiders suggest Meri's reluctance to pull the trigger on a memoir has been tied to multiple factors, with ongoing TLC contracts sitting at the top of the list. Unlike Christine, who made a clean break from the show and the family simultaneously, Meri has maintained her presence on Sister Wives even as her marriage disintegrated in slow motion on camera. She continued filming, she continued collecting her paycheck, she continued operating within the system even when that system offered her nothing but humiliation and heartbreak. The legal complications of writing a tell-all, while still technically under contract with a major television network, cannot be overstated. TLC does not take kindly to cast members airing grievances outside of their controlled programming environment. There are clauses and restrictions and potential penalties that would give any author pause. For years, it seemed like Meri had concluded the risks outweighed the rewards. But something has clearly shifted. Whether it is the news that Janelle might be moving forward with her own book, whether it is the diminishing returns of continued silence, or whether it is simply reaching a point where she no longer cares about the consequences, Meri appears to finally be serious about telling her story. And what a story she has to tell. The catfishing scandal alone could fill half a book. For those who need a refresher, Meri was manipulated into an emotional affair with someone she believed was a man named Sam Cooper, only to discover the entire relationship was a fabrication orchestrated by a woman who had created an elaborate false identity. The scandal played out publicly and painfully, with voicemails and text messages leaked online. Meri was humiliated. She was blamed by fans who did not understand the sophisticated manipulation tactics used against her. And through it all, Kody offered her nothing resembling support or understanding. Then there are the 30-plus years of marriage that preceded and followed that scandal. 3 decades of being sister wife to a man who openly admitted on camera that he was not attracted to her, who could not maintain a romantic relationship with her, who made her feel like a burden rather than a partner. Meri watched Robyn enter the family and systematically displace her from the position she had held as first wife. She experienced rejection that most people cannot begin to comprehend. But there is a reason insiders believe Janelle will actually publish first, and her strategic approach to this situation reveals a woman who has been planning her moment for a very long time. Janelle Brown has always been the quiet one, the practical one, the wife who seemed to roll with whatever chaos the family generated without demanding the spotlight or causing drama. She was never the squeaky squeaky wheel. She was never the one making headlines with scandals or public breakdowns. She kept her head down, raised her children, and maintained a dignity that often got lost in the noise surrounding her more volatile sister wives. That quietness, it turns out, was not a lack of anything to say. It was strategy. While Christine was giving interviews and Meri was posting cryptic social media messages, Janelle was watching and waiting. She was taking mental notes. She was cataloging grievances. She was building a case without ever tipping her hand to the cameras or the public. One source familiar with Janelle's approach described her as the most strategic member of the family, noting that she never does anything without calculating the angles first. That description tracks perfectly with what we are seeing now. Janelle's children's relationships with Kody have been among the most publicly damaged of any in the family. The tensions between Kody and Janelle's sons have played out on camera in excruciating detail. Garrison and Gabriel have both expressed their frustrations with their father's behavior. Garrison tragically is no longer with us, and the questions surrounding how Kody handled that devastating loss could be addressed for the first time in print through Janelle's account. The Garrison situation is particularly sensitive and particularly powerful potential book material. Fans have been desperate to understand what really happened during that tragic time, how the family responded, and what role Kody played or failed to play in supporting his children through their grief. TLC has been careful about how much of this story makes it to air. A tell-all book would operate under no such restrictions. Janelle could share the full, unfiltered truth about one of the most painful chapters in Brown family history. Beyond the tragedy, Janelle has decades of stories about the day-to-day dysfunction that cameras only partially captured. She has financial receipts. She has documentation of decisions made and promises broken. She watched her children be treated as lesser than Robyn's children and stayed silent while it happened. That silence is over now, and what she has been holding back for years is about to come pouring out. Janelle's business-minded approach to life suggests she is already calculating the perfect timing for maximum impact. She understands markets, she understands audiences, she understands that striking while the iron is hot will determine how successful her book becomes. With season 21 confirmed and her return to filming guaranteed, she knows exactly when the optimal window for a book release will open. The question everyone is asking is what legal battles might erupt before either of these books ever hits shelves, and the answer could determine whether fans ever get to read the full truth. The legal nightmare brewing behind the scenes of these tell-all book plans is the kind of thing that keeps entertainment lawyers billing 20-hour days. TLC contracts are notoriously restrictive about cast members pursuing outside projects, particularly projects that might reveal information the network considers proprietary to their programming. The Browns have been under contract with the network for over 15 years. 15 years of agreements, amendments, extensions, and negotiations that have created a web of obligations so complex that untangling it would require a team of attorneys. Both Meri and Janelle have spent their entire sister wives' careers operating under these restrictions. They know what they signed, they know what they agreed to. The question is whether they have found loopholes, whether they have negotiated releases for specific projects, or whether they are simply prepared to face whatever legal consequences come their way, because the story is too important not to tell. Adding another layer of complication is the Browns' original family book deal. Years ago, when the family was still presenting a united front, they published a book together about their polygamous lifestyle. That deal was signed collectively. The intellectual property questions surrounding that original publication could create nightmare scenarios for any future individual tell-alls. Who owns the rights to the Brown family story? Can one family member publish details that contradict or expand upon the original shared narrative? These are questions that corporate lawyers would need to untangle. Then there is the Kody and Robyn factor. One source close to the family stated bluntly that Kody and Robyn would fight any narrative they cannot control through every legal channel available to them. They have built their entire post-family collapse identity around being victims. They have positioned themselves as the wronged parties who were abandoned and betrayed. Tell-all books from Meri and Janelle would fundamentally challenge that narrative, and Kody has never been one to accept challenges lying down. Christine's book set a precedent, but Meri and Janelle's versions could reveal information that Christine simply did not have access to. Christine was part of the family, but she was not Meri, watching from the original wife position as a new woman came in and systematically took over. Christine was not Janelle, maintaining a facade of cooperation while documenting every slight and every broken promise. These women have different stories because they occupied different positions within the family hierarchy. Legal threats are almost certainly already being discussed. Cease and desist letters may already be drafted. The machinery of corporate entertainment protection moves quickly when lucrative franchises are at stake. Whether those legal maneuvers can actually stop these books from being published is another matter entirely, but the attempts will certainly be made. And according to fans who watched the interview and analyzed Mykelti's body language and word choices, there is one person who should be most worried about what these books might reveal. Robyn Brown has spent 15 years carefully managing her image on Sister Wives, and tell-all books from both Meri and Janelle threaten to demolish that carefully constructed facade completely. Fans who analyzed Mykelti's growing up in polygamy interview noted something extremely telling about her defensive instincts. When discussing controversial family topics, Mykelti consistently stepped up to defend Kody, offering explanations for his behavior and pushing back on the harshest criticisms. But when it came to Robyn, silence. Notable deafening silence. Mykelti said nothing defensive about Robyn during the interview, not one word in her defense, not one attempt to explain or justify Robyn's actions or position within the family. For someone who clearly maintains relationships across the family divide and who has proven willing to defend Kody publicly, that omission speaks volumes. It suggests that even family members who try to remain neutral have difficulty finding anything positive to say about Robyn's role in the family's destruction. Both Meri and Janelle have specific grievances with Robyn that have been hinted at over the years but never fully explored in a public forum. Meri, as the original wife who was legally divorced so Kody could legally marry Robyn for insurance purposes, has watched Robyn assume a position that was once hers. She has watched Robyn's children receive advantages her own child never enjoyed. She has witnessed the systematic dismantling of her marriage happen in real time while Robyn's relationship with Kody only grew stronger. Janelle's issues with Robyn are equally documented, but similarly unexplored in full depth. The favoritism shown to Robyn's children, the financial decisions that always seemed to benefit Robyn's household, the way family resources were allocated during the Flagstaff move and beyond. Janelle has decades of observations about how Robyn operated within the family, and none of those observations paint a flattering picture. The catfish situation is particularly interesting in this context. Many fans have long speculated about Robyn's involvement, or at minimum her failure to support Meri during that devastating period. A tell-all book would provide Meri the platform to address those theories directly, to share what support she did or did not receive from her sister wife during one of the lowest points of her life. Robyn has maintained her narrative through carefully controlled television appearances and limited social media engagement. She does not do independent interviews. She does not answer fan questions directly. She operates exclusively within environments she can manage. A tell-all book exists entirely outside that control. Whatever Meri or Janelle chooses to write, Robyn will have no editorial input, no approval rights, and no ability to shape the narrative before it reaches readers. But what is happening with season 21 might actually accelerate these book plans and push both women toward publication faster than anyone anticipated. The confirmation that season 21 is guaranteed and that Janelle will be returning to film creates a fascinating timeline tension for these tell-all book plans. Janelle is still under active TLC contract obligations if she is filming new episodes. That means any book deal would need to either work around those restrictions or wait until after this confirmed season wraps production. The question of timing has suddenly become the most important factor in determining when readers will finally get their hands on these revelations. Sources speculate that the show ending could be the trigger that finally unleashes both publications. If season 21 is truly the last, as many have theorized given the family's complete implosion, then Meri and Janelle would be freed from whatever contractual restrictions have held them back for years. The end of Sister Wives would not just be the conclusion of a television era, it would be the starting gun for a tell-all race that could reshape everything fans thought they knew about this family. There is also the question of whether these book plans might influence what happens during season 21 itself. If TLC knows that potentially damaging tell-alls are in development, they might push for more confrontational content while they still have contractual control over the narrative. Conversely, Meri and Janelle might be more guarded during filming, saving their most explosive revelations for pages that will earn them direct royalties rather than giving away their best material to a network that has profited off their pain for 15 years. The business calculations here are significant. A tell-all book released while Sister Wives is still airing would benefit from the promotional synergy, potentially driving readers to tune in and viewers to purchase. But a book released after the show ends would have complete freedom to reveal anything without concern for how it might affect ongoing production relationships. Both women are clearly weighing these factors as they determine their publication strategies. Fans have noted that Mykelti's willingness to confirm these book plans suggests the announcements are coming sooner rather than later. If the books were still in early conceptual stages, family members would likely be more cautious about discussing them publicly. The fact that Mykelti spoke so matter-of-factly about multiple people writing books implies that deals may already be in negotiation or even signed. The publishing industry moves quickly when celebrity tell-alls are involved. Ghostwriters can turn around manuscripts in months. Production and distribution timelines have accelerated dramatically in the digital age. If Meri and Janelle are serious about these projects, and all indications suggest they absolutely are, readers could be holding these books in their hands far sooner than anyone might expect. So what does this mean for the future of the Brown family? And can it even survive the devastating impact of 2 more tell-all books added to Christine's already damaging revelations? The sister wives empire that Kody Brown built over 15 years of television is not just crumbling, it is being systematically demolished by the very women who helped him build it. 3 wives have walked away from a marriage they once believed was sacred. Multiple children have cut off all contact with their father, and now 2 comprehensive tell-all books are in active development, each one promising to expose secrets that cameras never captured and narratives that TLC never allowed to air. Kody built his entire brand on family unity. He marketed himself as the patriarch of a functional, loving, plural family that had found a way to make an alternative lifestyle work. He positioned himself as proof that polygamy could produce happy wives and well-adjusted children. He stood before cameras year after year and proclaimed the success of his family model while it was quietly rotting from the inside out. These books represent the final and complete dismantling of that carefully constructed illusion. The legal battles are coming. That much is certain. Attorneys will send threatening letters. Contract clauses will be scrutinized and debated. Kody and Robyn will almost certainly attempt to block, delay, or minimize whatever damage these publications might cause to their remaining brand value. But the women writing these books have something powerful on their side. They have the truth, and they have finally reached a point where they are no longer afraid to share it. The family fallout from these publications will extend far beyond Kody and Robyn. Relationships between siblings could be affected by revelations about private family matters. Alliances that have been maintained through careful silence might shatter when that silence is broken permanently in print. The Brown family, as fans have known it, will cease to exist in any meaningful sense once these books hit shelves and every secret becomes public knowledge. What we are witnessing is not just the end of a television show or the dissolution of a polygamous marriage. We are witnessing the complete unraveling of a family myth that was sold to audiences for 15 years. Every episode of Sister Wives now exists in a new context, knowing what we know about where it all ended up. Every proclamation of family love and unity rings hollow against the backdrop of estranged children, departed wives, and tell-all books in development. The question that remains for fans is simple but fascinating. Which book would you buy first? Would you choose Meri's story of 30 years of emotional neglect, of watching herself be displaced by a younger wife, of surviving a catfishing scandal while receiving no support from her husband? Or would you choose Janelle's account of watching her children be systematically abandoned by their father, of maintaining silence while injustice accumulated, of finally finding her voice after decades of keeping the peace? Both stories deserve to be told. Both women deserve to be heard. And Kody Brown deserves whatever consequences come from the truth finally being set free.